Well, hello there. It's Justin, and this is the Kitty Boss, where we pick, pamper, and protect your practically perfect pussycat for a lifetime of unconditional love. I just thought I should have a theme song playing at the beginning. Let's try to come up with that for next time. Well, in a few days, it is Valentine's Day. So if you're watching this, and we're recording it in February, obviously, and if you're watching it later, we're still going to talk about stuff that's important, pertinent, positive, and relevant to your cat. So listen in whether it's Valentine's Day or not. But because it's coming up to Valentine's Day, we're going to talk about love, litter boxes, and all the kind of stuff that goes around with that. And you'll see why in a minute. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our good friend and certified cat behaviorist and chaplain, Dr. Rachel Geller. So, Dr. Rachel, welcome to the show. It's great to see you again this month, and we've got lots to talk about. So how are you, first and foremost?
I'm doing well. No, thank you for asking. I'm doing well. It's always a pleasure to be with you on your show, and I'm ready to go to talk about all things cats, love, and litter boxes.
Cats love and litter boxes. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Wait until you hear what I've come up with for you. But it's all good. It's all good. And so Valentine's Day is coming up at obviously in a few days. We're recording this. It's the 10th, so in 4 days. But most people will actually probably be listening to it closer to the day, or even after, or even at a future period. But what we're going to talk about is quote unquote evergreen, meaning that it doesn't matter if it's Valentine's Day or not. It's really important stuff that we need to know year round. I got somebody saying that I am freezing up. Okay, well, whoever it is that's saying that, thank you for alerting me. I have no idea why. It's not bad though. Okay, great. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the show and whether it stabilizes or not. Because techie stuff is not my forte. I'm a cat expert, not a cat tech expert. I'm a cat expert, not a tack. You get it? Tech cat. That's me trying to be funny, and hopefully it worked. But the thing is yeah. So I have no clue why. Maybe it's related to me and something around here, or maybe it's related to the Facebook universe or the YouTube universe, or wherever you're listening to this to. Could be related to so many different things that I can think of, and probably lots more that I can't think of. So yeah. But thank you for letting me know. And thank you for listening or watching. That's also even better. As always, if you have any questions for me or Dr. Rachel, let us know. You can go ahead and put it in the comment boxes. We can't see every comment, just so you know, but if we see it, we will definitely get to it. No doubt about that. So it's Valentine's Day coming up. So I know I have plans. I have plans for Valentine. I have a Valentine. But I'm not going to say any more than that. That's private stuff, But Dr. Rachel, do you have plans for Valentine's Day?
I do. We have plans to go out for a nice dinner, and
Oh, yeah.
and of course my cats will be part of the celebration because I love them so much. And somehow my cats always manage to go to the store and get a card for me, so that's very lovely.
Oh, that's really thoughtful. Yeah, my cats aren't quite that thoughtful, but they definitely are part of the Valentine's Day. They're definitely part of my loves. They are my loves. So yeah, so that's really, really cool. Now, on Valentine's Day, some people exchange, gifts, those little disgusting candies, those little hearts with little cute, adorable messages on them, but those are foul, foul things to eat. And or chocolate or those kind of things. So we talk about this all the time, but it's so important that it's worth just a quick reminder that chocolate is poisonous and toxic to cats. So we love our cats, but we do not give them chocolate, and we don't let them eat or lick our chocolate, especially if it's healthy chocolate with xylitol. Then you're like asking to kill your cat. So don't do that. And we don't give them those little heart candies either, because whether or not they have a toxic ingredient in them, I don't know, because I haven't looked at the ingredients. However, they're laced with tons of sugar. They're super sweet, and cats are sensitive. They're tiny bodies. You don't want to give them diabetes. So avoid sweets for your cats on Valentine's Day. Save them for you. give them away, or your one or your honey, whatever, but not for the cats, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Chocolate is fine for us, not so great for our cats. You can indulge, you can enjoy, just make sure things are safe. If you have a cat who jumps up on the counters, make sure they're in a cabinet. If you have a cat who jumps
Yeah.
on the table, not to sound like your mother, but clean up after yourself and put those things away.
Yeah. Or to sound like my mother. That's no problem. And there with that, it's good advice, So
Yeah.
we need to do that. So it's really important. So I wanted to get that out of the way first and foremost, because it's so important. And we reiterate almost every time, every holiday, because it's relevant, and we always have to. I love chocolate, so I almost always have chocolate in the house, and I maybe eat chocolate every day. I know I shouldn't, and maybe not every day, but almost. And so I think that it's really important to really be mindful that your cats don't get at the chocolate. And you'd be surprised, cats are not necessarily instinctively knowing what's good and what's not good for them. Sometimes their instincts are a little bit less attuned, as if they were, let's say, a wild animal like a tiger or an ocelot or something. So it's really important to know that you need to be careful. It's like somebody was talking about the other day. Actually, several people were talking about it. Several cat experts were talking about the salt lamps and how that's a risk, because I have salt lamps, but they're kind of in a place that's inaccessible to the cats. And my cats have never discovered them. But they're a risk because, salt's not deadly, but they can very, very easily go to, having just a tiny bit too much, it becomes, toxic. So if they go and lick it and they are attracted to salty things, if they go and they start licking the salt lamp, you could be asking for a lot of trouble for your kitty cat. So salt lamps are great, but again, not great for your cat. So there's these little tiny things we need to really keep in mind with our critters to keep them safe, to protect them, so that we have a lifetime of unconditional love, to protect them properly.
Yes, we need to be
that's our that's our we're meow mentors.
Yes, it's our responsibility.
Absolutely. Yeah. Exactly. So now I hope some people were asking themselves, love, litter box, why did you do that? Just because of the letter L? No, not because of the letter L.
I was actually afraid to ask.
Yeah, no, the reason I put litter boxes in there is because, of course, one of the things that we do because we love our cats is that we pamper our pets. We do activities because we love them. We don't do activities, because we hate them. Love our cats, and doing these activities makes us fall in love with them more and more every day. It's like a human relationship. You re-fall in love, not because of some, magical, Cupid that little cherub shoots an arrow in you. You do because you're doing stuff that makes you fall. You're doing the action. It's almost like love is a verb, it's like it's action. It's a doing. It's not a receiving experience. And although, it can be, but the thing is that, so litter boxes comes into play because it's one of the things that we do. And it happens to have become relevant in my life this last month. And it's a really relatively common issue. So I think it's worth addressing. It's not some rare thing. I don't have some bizarre litter box thing. And it came up in the Facebook group as well, the Kitty Boss Facebook group. Somebody had posted this scenario that I would like to talk about today. And the scenario that was posted was very simple. They already follow the recommendation, so that's already done. They have one extra litter box for the number of cats they have. So like me, they have 2 cats and 3 litter boxes. Okay. And so that's the correct number. So that part's covered. As far as staying on top of the cleaning of the litter box, that I don't know. As far as other things to keep in mind with litter boxes, again, I don't know. Where are the litter boxes? I don't know where they are. I'm assuming they're in appropriate places and not like under the dining room table, Oops, I dropped my food. 5-second rule. Oh, in the litter box. Really? But because there was a restaurant in Leicester, not far from here in England, that actually got shut down. And it was a kitty cafe, not the kitty cafe that we have here in Nottingham, Leeds, and a few other places. But they actually had the litter boxes under the tables where the restaurant diners, where the people were drinking and eating, and there were litter boxes under the table. No wonder they got shut down. I mean, you don't want to do that. That's gross.
That's not a
But
good idea.
there's a cat pooping, and I'm trying to drink my coffee or eat a brownie. And so the thing is that I don't know where this litter box is, but let's assume they're all correct, because the part that happened to me is this part. So the cat started, and I believe it's Charlotte, but I'm not sure which one of mine did it. But one of the cats, or two of them, started defecating outside the litter box. Not urinating, but defecating outside the litter box. And that's a relatively unusual behavior for my cats, because Charlotte will do it outside the litter box, but next to it.
Yeah.
But she started doing it like in the kitchen, and she even did it in the kitchen sink one day. So I'm like, what the hell is she trying to tell me here? And so it's not trying to tell me anything. It's just that there's an issue with the litter boxes. Now, one thing I had to do was get a new litter box upstairs in my bedroom, not the bedroom, but there's an ensuite bathroom, and in the bathroom near my toilet, there's a litter box. And the litter box I had there has been there since Emily was a kitten, so for 11, 12 years. And I don't know, again, which cat or both had peed in there quite a bit, and I didn't notice. And the pee sat there for a while with the wood pellets and everything, and it started reeking, but like that ammonia smell, which means really bad. So I consulted the vet, and they told me, well, you want to rule out the medical causes. And my cats had recently been to the vet, so I'm pretty sure there's nothing medically wrong with them.
Probably not.
But you definitely always want to rule that out. And, are they in pain? So I think it's just as simple that the litter box was old, and there was a lot of pee there, and the pee was sitting there, and the bacteria started eating the pee and releasing the ammonia into the air, and it reeked really bad. And so, and then of course that infiltrates into the plastic of the litter box, which then meant I needed to throw that litter box away and replace it with a new one.
So that was good.
Now they didn't use the new one until yesterday. Yesterday was the first day after like a week that they decided to test the water, dip the toe in the water, and go and pee in there. So they used it fine. No, poop in there. Actually, that's cool. Yeah, because a lot of times they don't poo in there. They save that for downstairs. So they went and they pooed in there, and finally yesterday. So now I think everything is okay now, and I'll be seeing hopefully less dung in my kitchen floor or elsewhere. So hopefully, knock on wood, that's done. So I guess what we're talking about here is when cats are doing it outside the litter box, and we've ruled out medical.
Yeah.
What can we suggest for people in terms of behavior, in terms of everything from, placing it? Should we watch them? What should we do?
Okay. So pooping out of the box usually comes down to a couple of things. Number one is there are many cats who will not poop and pee in the same box. For whatever reason, they don't want to poop or pee in the same box, so you may have to add an extra box. The other thing that often comes into play with pooping out of the box is vulnerability. Cats feel very, very vulnerable when they're in the litter boxes in general, and the pooping position is even more of a vulnerable position than the peeing position. So if you have a cat who's looking for elevated areas, if your cat's pooping on the bed, if your cat is pooping on a couch, that might be a sign that he's looking for more safety when she has to poop. So I always tell people to really look at your litter boxes in terms of visual field and opportunity for escape. Now, it might seem sort of weird to us to think about, the visual field of being able to escape when, you're doing your thing in the bathroom. But cats don't want privacy. They want to be able to see around them, and they want to be reassured that should an invader approach them, they're going to have ample visual warning time so they can get out of dodge and get away from the invader or opponent. And it's important to remember that these invaders or opponents can be real or imagined. It just might be an instinct or maybe in the cat's mind, but she's going to act the same way. So make sure the location of your boxes is providing safety for the cat when she's pooping in there. And this means toss the covers. If you have a covered box, you need to get rid of that cover. Is your box right up against a wall? That could cause litter box aversion because your cat perceives the wall as a place blocking her field of vision. Is your cat under something? I mean, is the box under something? Is it under a desk? Is it under a table? In the bathroom, is the box wedged behind, like the sink in the wall? All of these things where there could be something blocking the view, something that's not allowing the cat to get out of there quickly. All of these things can really cause litter box aversion. So look at your litter boxes in terms of visual field and ample opportunity for escape. Those are usually the two big things that cause cats not to use the litter box. The other, as you mentioned, is cleanliness. They don't want to go in a box that stinks of pee, and they don't want to go in a box that's still wet, from the pee. So it's really make sure you're scooping and cleaning those boxes regularly, because cats are fastidious animals. Cats want to use the litter boxes. So if your cat is not using her box, it's because in her mind, something or someone is preventing her from using that box. And sometimes it's a little bit of detective work to figure out what that is. I think you mentioned too, like a cat had pooped in the bathtub. Sometimes I'll say to my clients, just try a litter box with nothing in it at all. No litter, no, just a plain, flat, smooth litter box. Because some cats don't like the feel of the litter when they need to poop for whatever reason. So if they're looking for things that are flat and shiny and hard, like your bathtub or a ceramic floor, that's a clue that maybe, they're very tactile animals. Just like people, some cats are more sensitive than others. So it's always worth trying a litter box with nothing in it at all as well.
Oh, that's cool, because that's something I would have never thought of. There is to try a litter box like a nude litter box, with that, because I noticed that Emily perches, so she'll perch on the edge of her litter box to go in there, unless she's sometimes not, but usually I noticed her perching. Charlotte she'll go in there and pee, but she'll poop outside. So that's just my cat. And I do know that there's people, because obviously cats are very individual pets. They're VIPs. And so I know there are people who have covered litter boxes and it works fine for them.
Yes.
I know my friends have this litter box that I can't imagine training my cats to go in there, because it's like they have to access. It's almost like an obstacle course to get in the thing. And my mom has a covered one, and so then their cats are fine.
Yeah,
cats are different, fine. And there's even cats that are trained to go use the toilet. I've seen that before, and these little devices to go and do that.
Not loving that, and I'll explain why. But I know every time I do one of these shows or seminar or lecture, invariably somebody will raise their hand and say, well, I have a covered box and my cat goes in it, or I have, like, they'll point out, like, after I just said about like the worst location for a box, they'll say, well, that's my litter box location and my cat goes fine. So really, if your cat is using the box, fine. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go for it. Stay the course, keep on doing what you're doing. But I'm talking in terms of people who are having a litter box problem. Mm-hmm. So if your cat's not using the box, these are the things to look for. So I definitely don't want.
And these are general guide, and these are guidelines. And as we keep saying, cats are very individual people. I mean, pets. I mean, some of us consider them like people. And I mean, I even know a friend of mine who has many cats, and she has like this sandbox. So there's no individual litter box for her cats. She has a giant sandbox with a humongous one where all the cats go in together. God bless her, that works for her. So it just depends. And my cats are also weird in the sense that there's 3 litter boxes, and they all use all 3. So they've not territorialized the litter box. They both use the one downstairs most.
Yeah.
They use the one in the middle floor sometimes, pretty rarely, and they use the top floor one usually to wee.
Uh-huh.
To wee. and sometimes the poop depends. And so, but they have not identified this is mine. This is mine. They use all three,
Yeah.
and that's just
No,
breaks all the
it's
cat
great.
rules. And cats are great rule breakers too. But we have so when we talk about anything with cats, it's always a guideline. It's always it's like with people too. You wouldn't want to say, all brunettes do that. How
Yeah.
how could you make
Yeah.
such a generalization? And cats are almost like that. So there are certain generalizations that we can make with cats, but there are others where there are tons of course, there are tons of exceptions. We're not pretending
Absolutely.
like
And right.
it's not a stuffed animal. It's also not a dog.
Right.
Dogs are a lot more uniform in their responses, in their behaviors. They're a lot more uniform.
And they're
Cats
not
are a lot less.
territorial. Yeah, cats are way more territorial than dogs. Cats care way more about their territory than
Yep.
dogs. So that's a huge thing that's always coming into play.
Yeah, for sure. So I've got our friend says my kitty Maxine likes to go into attack mode when Sweetie is using the cat box. I have to stop her from pouncing. Right. Again, a very amusing activity or whatever. Like that's the time that Sweetie decides is playtime or attack time. It's so weird. And so that's what we mean is cats are just have these caprices. They do that. Luckily, knock on wood, my cats don't attack or prevent each other from using the litter box. And so it's not one of the issues that we have. So if they do, then like Dr. Rachel said a minute ago, you got to really watch for that and help them to feel safe when they're going to the litter box, because that's a really super important thing.
Yeah.
So that's so that's how that came up. That's how that came up. The whole litter box thing is and it's related because it's one of the things that we do because we love our cats is we take care of their litter boxes. But it's really interesting that you can try, and I don't know if I will try this because I've seen both cats using the litter box with the litter I like for myself and for them, which is the wood pellets in it. But trying one without is really an interesting idea because Charlotte's the one especially. Emily's never gone outside the litter box in her whole life. Charlotte, she used to really like to go in the bathtub. She used to then like to go in the shower when the bathtub was not convenient. And now it's kind of like beside the litter box. So maybe I'll try it with Charlotte. So we have 2 cats, 3 litter boxes, 1 on each floor. That's exactly what I have. I find that if I don't clean the boxes every day, they go to the one that is the most clean. So cleaning all boxes is in my morning routine. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I generally clean all of them, make sure there's no poo sitting there. And if there's pee-pee, well, it dissolves the wood pellets. I try to just dump a bunch of it into the toilet and flush it away. But I don't want to like redo the litter box on a daily basis. That's a waste of good wood pellets. But so I generally do it that way, but I do obviously keep it clean. I don't want like some, dump sitting there for a while. And same thing with pee. As I mentioned earlier, it was sitting there for a little bit too long. It started to reek of ammonia. So I try not to do that too. And so but it's definitely, you got to keep those things clean. Cause like Dr. Rachel said, cats are fastidious creatures. In fact, like I say, cats are cleaner than people. So when people say, oh, it's a dirty animal in the bed and all that, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm more comfortable with a cat in my bed than a person, because cats are cleaner than people. Cats saliva has disinfectant in it, unlike ours. It actually disinfects, and they're constantly cleaning themselves all the time. I mean, you pet the cat and it cleans it afterwards because you're so filthy. And then if you're like me, you also brush their teeth every day and you do all these other things. And so cats are cleaner than people, in my opinion. And so the litter box is no different. If you're leaving if it's a sewer, they're not going to want to go there. So that's really important.
Yeah. Cleanliness, I mean, it's so important to a cat. I say that to people all the time, they're fastidious creatures. They're typically, as you said, cleaner than we are. So we really need to make sure that litter box, is scooped as often as you can, make sure there's no pee or poop sitting around in there. And then the woman or person, I don't remember her name, the one who said about the cat pouncing in the the cat that's in the litter box. So as I said before, that's where that whole vulnerability comes in. So cats do feel vulnerable when they're in their box, and the other cat knows when the cat in the box is at her most vulnerable. So you may want to think about putting your boxes in a place where the cat who's in the box has, again, like I always call it, ample potential, escape time. So like if your box is on the wall, it's on the same side as the entrance, move the box to the other side of the room. So that way the cat can see, out the door and into the hallway. So if it's a bedroom and the box is on the other side of the bed from the entrance, again, move that box so the cat can see, so make sure you configure your litter boxes so the cat really can see at all times when another cat might be ready to pounce or approach. And that gives that cat the opportunity to get out of dodge and go to a different box before she gets ambushed in that box.
That's great. Yeah. Sometimes people don't have so much of a choice because of the layout of their house or room or whatever. Yes. But if possible, this is the ideal thing to do. Now, before we continue and talk about the next thing I want to talk about, I just wanted to pop this up. It's a cat, all the time. We love cats. We love our cats, but we love unconditionally and love all cats. And so, one thing that Dr. Rachel has done is set up a nonprofit organization because she doesn't make any money off of her work or her book sales or anything. All goes for the benefit of the cat, and she donates both her time and her money. But there are people who sometimes are on low income or for whatever reason, they struggle to do what's needed to be done for the cats. And as you know, I'm on a mission to help 1 million more cats find a home. And of course, all those lonely people, those closet cat lovers, to find a lifetime of unconditional love. Now, that's not going to be possible for some people because they don't have the time or they don't have the money and all that. And I'm here to show them the easy way to own a cat. So I'm not necessarily here to be to compete with that guy from The Cat from Hell, and if that's your issue, then I refer you gently to the services of Dr. Rachel Geller, which are free of charge, or other wonderful cat behaviorists like the Cat Behavior Alliance, the two people who work there, or other like my friend the crocheting cat behaviorist. I know so many. I'll refer you to one of them who has the time to deal with you. But want to help people who want a cat but think they can't have one. And so that's the thing. And in order to do that, I need to take away this idea that you don't have the time, and I need to take away this idea that you don't have the money. So one way to do that is, of course, because cats are not free, you will have to feed them. So, and even if you're like some people and you never take it to the vet, not what I recommend, but fine. I know a guy, a cat, it's almost 30 years old. I don't know. I think it's 26 years old. Never been to the vet once. So, okay, who am I to say? But the thing is that it does need to eat. So you will have to spend a little money on the cat. And so one way to take away this barrier is, Dr. Rachel started a charity. So if somebody's on low income, there's all cats all the time, and they can access some products.
Yes.
And that way it's really good. So I encourage everyone to check it out, to possibly make a donation, do something to support this nonprofit so that more people can get a cat without having to worry about the financial barrier for getting a cat. And in order to find all cats all the time, it does not yet have its own dedicated website because it's not a giant international money spinner. You go to just Dr. Rachel Cat Behavior. You go to her normal website, which is drrachelcatbehavior.com. So Dr. Rachel Cat Behavior, spelled the American way, .com. And from you can find out everything you need to know about All Cats All the Time charity, as well as, of course, if you need it, Dr. Rachel's services, which are free of charge. You could book an appointment, have a consultation virtually if you are thinking of surrendering your cat. Obviously, don't waste her time, but if you're on the verge of tossing your cat away or giving it back to a shelter, before you do that, give her a chance.
Yeah.
There might be a chance we can take that monster, make it, more malleable.
Yeah.
So that's that. So that I wanted to put that here in the middle of the show as opposed to saving it for the end in case some people have to go. This way we've gotten it there because I think it's so important. We have a couple more really good comments. One of them is, I have to clean mine several times a day. My yes, Kitty, I know who this is now, lies in the litter. Yeah. So she has a kitty that has the shakes. And the kitty goes and likes to, I guess, lie in the litter for what? Probably for tactile reasons and sensations.
Yeah.
Mine don't do that, but yeah. So you definitely, yeah. Oh, really? Okay, because mine have never done that. None of my cats, my whole life, have ever done that. But it's something I clean mine several times a day as well, just because I just don't want poop and pee sitting there in the house. So it's a good idea anyway. And then we have another comment from another user saying, Dr. Rachel has also helped me with the mat that goes just outside the litter box. I used to have an issue with cat litter trailing on the floor. Now these mats that the litter goes through and can be dumped back in the box have helped a great deal. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah. So that's a good product and a good suggestion if you want to talk about that for a minute, because that's it's not something I use because I don't feel I need that. But for some people who have an issue with that, then do you want to tell them a little bit about this particular product?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are people who, for whatever reason, the cat is tracking the litter throughout the house. Some cats, like we said, are more messy than others. And some people are more sensitive to that litter being all over the place, particularly if they have kids or other pets. So there are all kinds of products that are made. So when the cat gets out of the box, they walk on this mat. It's shaped in such a way that it helps kind of get the litter off of the cat's paws. And rather than going on the floor, it falls below, and then you can just take that litter, as this Facebook user said, and pop it back into the box. So there are all kinds of them. They come in every shape. They come in every size. So you'd want to look at your particular cat and see, which one makes the most sense. But you can all you need to do is very easy to use. Just put it on the floor, put the litter box on top of it. And when the cat comes out, like I said, some of them have like little spiky things sticking up or little valleys and dips. So when the cat goes on the mat, it rubs against their paws, the litter comes off, problem solved. So,
so if I was to search, if I was to go search on Amazon, what would I look for?
Just look for litter mats or tracking mats.
Litter mat or tracking mat. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then you can find it that way. I don't sell them, and so it's something you can just go on Amazon and find it that way, or eBay, or wherever, whatever website for pet stuff that you get your stuff. Just look or ask for that at the pet store and see what you come up with, because that sounds like a helpful tool.
It's super helpful, and it's one of those things that people don't even realize exists. Some of the things I suggest to people, they'll say, "Oh, I never knew there was a product that did that." So sometimes it's a very easy fix to be able to solve, some of these problems that people have.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you for that comment. That was a helpful comment because it spurred us to really point out a product that might be helpful for some people who are listening or watching. Yeah. So lastly, we have She Can't Stay Upright. Okay, this is talking about the cat with CH, the shaky. So she can't stay upright, so she lays, but she chooses to lay in the litter box. So we need to keep that clean. That's really good. We won't go into a deep dive. Sorry, what?
No, I was just going to say, there are some cats who live outside. They roll around in the sand and the dust. It feels good to some cats. So, I mean, her cat is doing it for a medical reason. But if you're listening and you have a cat who goes into the litter box and starts rolling around, and you're thinking, this just seems very odd behavior, it's actually pretty common. They like the feel of it against their fur. Then sometimes when they clean themselves, it makes it easier to get other things off because everything sort of gets attached and covered with dust. So
I hear a cat.
that was quite a meow. That was quite an entrance.
Yeah, I mean that's really appropriate for this show, is to have some meowing in the background. This is not that kind of show that I'm like, oh my God, silence. I'm like, no, where are you, Charlotte and Emily?
That should be
you're meowing at me.
Justin.
I don't. Yeah, they're here somewhere. I heard them, but they're not. They're so politeful.
Yeah.
So, so we have somebody making a funny comment. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here comes trouble. Hey.
All
Here,
right.
kitty.
Let's see if he wants to say
Oh,
hi.
look at hey, look at that. Hello, kitty.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe that's how they came up with Hello Kitty. You know, that brand is there. So okay, we have our new sort of contact/connection here, and before I bring them on and show you and reveal their thing, I have to say that two things. Number one, I don't have a relationship with them such that I make money from their sales. So you need to know that I'm not putting them on here now to sell you something because I'm making money on this. I think this is an innovative thing. It's an innovative product that may be worth taking a look at, especially if you have an issue with the litter box and its cleanliness and keeping it tidy. I think it's innovative. I think it's cool. It's gonna show you their comment here because it does show you a link and all that. And just I'm not making money off of this. I just think it's innovative enough to share, just like the other one, the mat. So it says cleaning the litter box every day is so important. Yeah, of course. We were tired of spilling dirty litter all over the floor while scooping, so we invented Scoop Buddy. This is very innovative. I love inventors. I wish I could invent something. These innovative litter box anchors attach your waste bag directly to the litter box to keep dirty litter in the bag and off the floor. So you can check them out at catsavant.com. 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 And I do recommend that you check it out. It's not right for everyone's needs, but for some people, it might be just the thing that makes all the difference to keeping that area clean, to having that really cool little innovative attachment that you can just like do that. And, you know, hey, if it perturbs your cat, you don't use it. Right. But it shouldn't. These are really, like I said, I've looked at them and they look really cool. Obviously, someone here is cute is responding to having seen your cat.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's another thing that people can explore. Is this is brand new. They just launched very recently. So if we haven't heard about it before, that's why. So I wanted to share that with you so that you can see it. And you know, like I said, I'm not making money off of this. If you do go and buy one, it would be nice to tell them that it was the Kitty Boss where you heard about it. Not because I make money, but because it's nice to know where the source was that you heard about it from, because, you know, it motivates people from to work with you. Excellent show. Thank you, Mark. Mark, thank you so much for that feedback. We strive to be positive, pertinent, relevant, and provide helpful information because we love people, so we want to help you, but we love cats even more, so we want to help the cats. That's what I always say.
Mark is a longtime cat lover.
I know. He's been a follower of yours for a very long time, and more recently, I've gotten to know Mark. So he's an incredibly helpful and wise individual. And we're very happy to have him watch and listen to the show, and grateful actually for your contributions when you do make your comments. So thank you, Mark. So there was one more thing I wanted to say about cats, because it's time to sort of wrap up the show in the next 5-10 minutes. And it was back to love, back to love. So I keep saying we love cats. So I thought we'd talk about specifically what it is that we love. As to why we love cats, that could be so many reasons that we know and don't know. Maybe I was Egyptian in a past life and it's my karma to have cat. I don't know. I love cats. So, but what it is that we love about cats. So I can say that I love the fur, soft fur. So yeah, I mean, the hairless cats, not such a huge fan. I like them, but I wouldn't own one because I love the fur, whether it's long or short. I love the texture and the softness of the fur. It really pleases me, and I love it. I love the purring. The purring is calming, it's soothing, and it's de-stressing. scientifically proven to do so, lower cortisol levels. But that's another thing. So I love the purr. I love their meowing, actually. So while there are certain sounds that irritate me, like a crying baby, a dog barking, shut the hell up. However, a cat going rah, rah, and nagging, some people hate that. See, some people are the exact opposite. It would drive them nuts. But when Emily starts nagging, I love it. I'm like, she doesn't get what she wants, because what she wants is to irritate me to do what she wants. But instead, I'm just like, oh, cutie, and I come and I kiss her, and and all that. And Charlotte's same. When she starts nagging, she has a higher pitched meow. It's just so adorable. I love the meow. I love their voices. I love how naughty they are. So some of them can be really, hazardous, but most cats like mine are just naughty enough to keep you on your toes and interested, and it's funny. And Charlotte, for example, makes me laugh out loud. She's so funny. I sometimes say, Charlotte, you're like telling jokes, aren't you? She's actually, except she doesn't verbally tell jokes. She's tell jokes with her body and behavior. It's just so funny sometimes. So I love how their behavior is just so cool. And I love how intelligent they are. So most, again, of course, some cats are idiots, but most cats are quite highly evolved, intelligent creatures, also with quite a bit of emotional intelligence, because when their brains have been studied, they're much closer to human brains than dogs are. So they're much less stimulus response animals than dogs are. Cats have highly evolved emotional centers of their brains, much closer to people than you would think. It's not necessarily to the level of like an elephant, but it's not far off. So they're very intelligent creatures. So that's just a smattering of a smidgen of it's just a tiny thing, like my friend says, just a fraction of a smidgen of a smattering of yeah. And it's of what I love about cats, because there's a lot more. They're clean, this, that. So I thought we'd end it with a love bomb, right? So Dr. Rachel, do you want to love bomb cats?
Oh my goodness, nothing would make me happier. So, so I do. I just think cats are like the most amazing creatures on earth. I just love them so much. So why is that? Well, they really connect to you. There's that myth that cats are very aloof and they don't really need their humans around, but that is just a very unfortunate myth, because cats actually very much bond to their people. They connect to us, and they're very aware of anything that happens to us, good or bad. If we're unhappy, the cat knows it. If we're stressed, the cat knows it. And they're there for you. So the other thing I love about cats is just that unconditional love. No matter, I have a good day, I have a bad day, I'm grouchy, which I'm happy, whatever emotion I'm feeling, my cat is always there. And my cat seems to want to help me if I need help, and wants to soothe me if I need soothing. They're just always right there for you. They're so connected to us, and it's just an amazing thing. I think what's really cool about cats is that, most cats don't meow constantly, and they definitely don't meow to each other. They really only meow to their people. So when your cat is meowing, he's communicating directly to you. And for people who have more vocal cats, what I think is really cool is that cat will change or keep the meow based on your response, and if you got what he wanted. So for example, if your cat is the type who meows when hungry, and finally we respond the way the cat is hoping by giving the cat food, that cat will now use that pitch and intonation of the meow going forward when she's hungry. So people who have cats will say, we recognize the hungry meow, the I want affection meow, because the cat will actually respond to our response and fine tune their vocalizations in that way.
In many ways, they've trained us, as opposed to we being retrained them. In many ways, they actually trained us.
Yeah. And they're just so cute.
Yeah. You saw Emily, right? Somebody says, "Hi, Kitty." That's Kitty is that kitty. That particular kitty is Emily. She's been with me for over 11 years now, since she was a kitten. So there you go. That's my Lilliput, my Emily, for whom I've written a song or poem or whatever called "A Melody for Emily." So one day maybe I'll sing it. If anyone's listening and you're a songwriter of sorts and you want to help me put it to music, that would be cool, because I could do that, but I don't have time to do that. And so we could collaborate on creating and actually producing a song from a melody for Emily. I have another one for Charlotte as well, so we can do two. But we can start with one. So there you go. But that's me plugging for that. But so yeah, that's beautiful because we know that we have people who follow us and are connected with us who definitely know and practice energy work with cats. So the connection is undeniable because otherwise the whole business, the whole modality wouldn't work. So our friends from Naturally Cats, as you know, they do energy work on cats specifically. None of that would work if there wasn't a connection.
Yes.
My friend, late great inventor, Dr. Barry Tidings, he made a comment once when he saw a photo of me and Charlotte. He says, "Are your cats your connection to source? Because you both look so charismatic and alive together." And I'm like, yeah, I guess they are. I mean, I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess in a way they channel me to higher energy, higher power. They step up, let's say, my vibration to a higher rate. And I think that's not everyone has that effect with cats, but for me too, which is why I'm the kitty boss. And so that's but we all can be meow mentors. We all can be people who know how to take care of our cats properly and within our means, because that's really important too.
Yes.
I want to get burned out on cats. So that's our love bomb for cats in general. I could continue this for probably another hour, spitting out facts and tidbits and interesting things about cats and history and energy and all that kind of stuff. But we don't want to make a 3-hour show, right? Because no one's going to listen to that. However, I think we've love bombed our cats enough for Valentine's Day. So just as a quick recap and reminder, remember, no chocolate or candy for cats. Number one. Number two, we love our cats. We want to do stuff for them. And we want to take care of them. The litter box is one way we do it. So keep those guidelines in mind for the cat. If you're having no problems with it, then don't change anything, because then you'll start having problems. But if you are having problems with it, and consider either empty litter box or doing things to make the cat feel safe, basically, so they can be a sentry, so that they're not backed up against the wall or that they're not being attacked by another cat. So lots of different things to keep in mind. But do keep those things in mind. They're really important. So that's the nutshell. Love litter boxes and our cats, and what I wanted to talk about with this episode. Is there anything you'd like to say or ask before we end off today's show?
No, I just, again, thank you for having me every month. I thought that was a great topic, and hopefully people really enjoyed it.
I think they did. I mean, one of our friends actually said thank you. So thank you for tuning in, for listening. It's always great to see your happy face and hear your happy voice. And I will see you next month, where we will talk about another relevant thing, because it's going to be springtime, and we'll talk about that next month. So thank you for joining me and Dr. Rachel Geller for The Kitty Boss, where we pick, pamper, and protect your practically perfect pussycat for a lifetime of unconditional love. So somebody has said, awesome show. Oh, Cat Savant says, great show. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for introducing your innovation and your innovative product to us. We appreciate that for sure. And awesome show. Thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you next time on The Kitty Boss.